Hey guys, welcome to Rhinofeed. Today I'm going to review the Timemore Black Mirror Plus. This is a pour-over coffee scale. New for 2022, which indicates the plus thing, so if you're looking for it to purchase, look for the plus model. It includes a toggle switch to power it on and off. Otherwise, the design is super clean. It's just black plastic. It's a square, minimal design, very similar to the fellow Stag kettle base. Here's that for reference. So you have that, you have this, and they match very nicely in your kitchen. Otherwise, there's just two capacitive touch buttons on the top. The display is underneath the plastic, so it has fairly decent water resistance. You can wipe it clean, wipe it dry. There's not really like any nooks and crannies where coffee grounds can get stuck. So I really like that about this design. The top shell only has a small edge here on the bottom where water or steam could get through. So maybe if you put it on a drip tray, this will fit for most espresso machines, I think, although you'd have to still double check. But I have a Breville Duo Temp Pro, and it overhangs a little bit on the edge of the drip tray, but otherwise it works well. You just wouldn't be able to fit a latte cup, but I use the Not Neutral Vero Cortado glass, or the, I think this is only 3 inches tall. This is a Fallow Monty Art Cup, 6.5 ounce cappuccino size. So both of these cups work well underneath my machine, but a latte cup would be too tall. So I'm coming from a $12 Amazon, just random scale, you know, nothing special. But if you saw my Tetsu Katsuya method video, you will have seen that there was pretty bad lag. And when I measured 20 grams of whole bean coffee, I ended up with 22 grams out after I grinded the coffee. So I'm not sure how I got more coffee after grinding it, but that's how kind of inaccurate this scale was. The Timemore fixes all that, and I get 20 grams in, 20 grams out. So it's nice to know I trust the accuracy of the scale more. And the primary reason I bought this was to fix that lag, because this is a very responsive scale, and the less expensive scale just was not that responsive. There was lag. It was kind of jumping all over the place, like 1 to 3 grams off. I don't think it affects the taste of my pour overs in the end. I don't know. It's just annoying when the weight is jumping around on you, I guess. So that's why I upgraded to this one. And I feel like this is a very good value. You can get it on Amazon for anywhere from $40 to $60 depending on the day. And its main competitor, Akaya, which is more higher end, their scales go from $150 to $250, and they're very expensive. So the only thing that you're missing with this scale versus the Akaya is any smart features. So this doesn't have Bluetooth, it doesn't connect to an app or your phone, anything like that. It just does its job as a scale, and it does include a timer. So let's talk about that. Timer on the left side, there's one button for that. There's an auto time feature. So you can enable that just by pressing the timer button 5 times, then you'll see a little A icon. Once that A icon is enabled, then you only have to press it once, and then you'll get a little countdown. It'll be 3, 2, 1, and then it'll tear out the scale. And then from then on, once you add water, then this will start counting up. Now, I still like to use the timer in my fellow Stag kettle, because once you lift your dripper off of the scale, it's going to stop the timer and it will show you what your end weight was and your end time. The problem is if you're using the James Hoffman V60 method, where you're swirling your pour over dripper set, you're lifting that up off the scale and then the timer stops. You can, of course, start it again by pressing the timer button again, but you kind of missed like 5 to 15 seconds kind of when you're messing around with that. So I still like to use a timer on my fellow Stag kettle just because I don't want to deal with any of that, and I just want this scale to weigh, just to weigh things while I'm working with it. There's also a battery indicator in the top left. There's a built-in rechargeable lithium-ion battery with 1600 milliamp hours of battery capacity, but I got this a month ago and not a single indicator line went down. So, and I brew at least an espresso and at least a pour over every single day. So I'm very pleased with the battery life because I have not even had to plug this in since I bought it. And I expect it to last quite a while, and I don't even have to deal with replacing AAA batteries in this guy. So that's kind of annoying to have to buy AAA batteries, where now I can just plug it in. It's USB-C. They include the cable for you. So I really like that because it just kind of simplifies my workflow and makes things easier for me. There's also a little speaker icon. So there's a small speaker in this that will beep when you're pressing those capacitive buttons, because otherwise there's no other feedback for those buttons. Because actually, if you notice, I can hover over these. I don't even have to touch them. They're that sensitive. So I kind of, if you're picking up the scale, sometimes you'll accidentally like bump this and it'll re-tear out your scale with your palm, and that was kind of annoying to me. So they're almost a little too sensitive to me. They work well, and I still prefer this over the buttons on this scale because water is not going to be getting into the buttons. I have destroyed one scale doing that. I got water into the buttons and then it died on me. But so that's not going to be an issue, and then you can wipe this clean. So the sound is nice to have. I think it's a pleasing sound, and the buttons kind of work well. I really think it's a great value. If you pick it up for $40 to $50, you can get this scale for pour over, plus you can also get the Nano, which is also made by Timemore, specifically for espresso. So it's a smaller scale that will fit better on your drip tray. You can get both of those scales for the price of one Acaia scale, and all you miss out on is those smart scale, like all that nerdy data, which again, I'm not really so sure that that's going to affect my brew all that much. I mean, it might be fun in the future someday to have that nerdy data, but it's not today, not for me, not yet. Another thing I wanted to mention is that the capacity of this scale is 2,000 grams. It's going to be plenty to do a very large 8-cup Chemex. This weighs like 650 grams on its own. And then if like the largest batch size you can really do in this is 800 grams of water and 50 grams of coffee. So you're still left with about 500 grams on the scale. So that's perfect. There's no reason to have a scale that goes up to 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 grams. I really think that's perfect. So it's accurate, it's responsive, it's a good value. I like the design, and I'm very happy with it. So there you go. That's pretty much it. I really appreciate your time. And you can check out the full written review as well if you want to get even more nerdy about specifications and size and dimensions. And I have the user manual scanned in over there as well if you want to get more detail about it. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and you'll have a great day.